Apparently, if you come to see the man in the arbitration, the keys are here for Grendel systems, Grendel neuroptics, and the Grendel chassis. Oh, there's a Vitus Essence deck. Oh, it had to be in here, didn't it? I didn't mention it in the update video because I couldn't find it. Turns out, it's in here. Ew. I mean, it's a nice looking Ayatan sculpture, but the only way to get it, 50 Vitus Essence. Whereas, for 50 Vitus Essence, you can get Grendel's chassis, Grendel's neuroptics, and then need to get 25 more for Grendel's systems. Now, these are guaranteed. If you use these, you're guaranteed to get the systems, or the neuroptics, or the chassis, with the blueprint actually being in the marketplace, and you have to pick that up, but that's only 35,000 credits. It's not 35,000 Vitus Essence. That would be quite insane, but honestly, I'm looking forward to trying out his abilities, because being able to turn into a ball and roll, eat your enemies, all looks kind of fun. Did note that his Exilus slot doesn't have a polarity in it. He does come with a dash polarity, which means you can put energy siphon in there, or corrosive projection, whatever you want. Dash and 2Ds is standard. One thing that did amaze me is the multiplier for his health. 25 shields is, remembering he's unranked, that will go up, but 350 starting health, not the best, not bad. 350 armor is, on the other hand, pretty good. And then you put some health mods in and 3,290 health. The only reason that he has a little bit extra shields is because I threw primed vigor in, so yeah. Arcane Grace it is then. After only 2 former, I'm kind of sitting here looking at him and thinking, okay, there's 3 points available, but where can you possibly take him from here? He's not weak by any standard. I have noticed though that the health has for some reason gone down over what I had before. Even in missions it seems to be higher than it is in the arsenal here, but still, I can't decide where to go build-wise with him, because his abilities are weird. And this mainly comes down to Pulverize. You turn into a ball that can run around and it basically just knocks enemies over. It does have a damage to it. With the mods it's 725 to 5,800, but normally it's 500 to 4,000. It deals toxin damage, has an area which you can increase, obviously. The radius increases as well, but it doesn't cost energy to do this. It all works on his first ability, and, well, if you don't use his first ability, none of the other abilities work. You have to use his first ability to swallow enemies, then you can nourish allies, which, weirdly, you can do energy, which you'll give an energy multiplier, armor, or a damage multiplier. It's kind of one of those radial buffs that you will see being used quite a lot as time goes on, because that is actually 1.75 damage multiplier. That's nearly doubling your allies' damage. It doesn't do as much to yourself. It is for nearby squad members. And Regurgitate just spits them across the room, dealing damage. That second ability uses power. Third ability does not. So you can shoot them across the room, doesn't cost you anything, and you can literally shoot them into enemies as it shows. And then Pulverize, I didn't really find myself using that much, because you hit one slight little uphill part and you end up going backwards. But the more enemies you have, the bigger the Pulverize will get. And the reason that I did that from Grendel's ability screen is so you can actually see them in use better, because honestly, doing this from the third person perspective, yes, you can see the abilities in use, but you can't really see them from other angles. They are nice videos, I just wish I could make them a little bit bigger. But it's just weird the way that he works with his first ability, eating the enemies. The more enemies you have, the more energy that will be used. So more enemies in stomach, more energy used. Kind of makes sense. The damage doesn't go up with it, but as I mentioned before, the size of his pulverize will go up the more enemies you have inside yourself. But at the same time, the drain per second goes through the roof the more enemies you have inside. So it's a balance. You can't just run around absorbing all the enemies, then walk up to an edge and spew them off. Well, technically you could, but if you run out of energy, you will just spew up all of the enemies right in front of you. They will just instantly come out. You can, of course, hold this ability to recast it to expel all of the enemies at once. So you can empty his stomach. You don't have to worry about having too many and not being able to get rid of them, or having to use Regurgitate, his third ability, and shoot them out one at a time. Regurgitate worked pretty well, actually. It has an amazing range to it, actually, because I have used this and shot them clean across the map. I loved Regurgitate. It was a weird ability to actually like, but being able to shoot the enemy at other enemies to deal damage was kind of weirdly satisfying. And Nourish, I just tried to use that as much as I could, mainly for things like armor or the damage multiplier. The energy was not as useful, but still there, but I just preferred to use the Nourish Armor or Nourished Strike because people have more armor and deal more damage. Probably should have gone for the energy though, because the energy multiplier means you will probably get more. I just never really used it. So all in all, he turned out to be not a bad frame at all. Not to forget, of course, his passive. The energy consumed grants 50 bonus armor, meaning the more enemies you have, the quicker you use energy, the more armor bonus you get. It works in case of emergencies. The more enemies you have, the greater your armor. I used that and was surviving things that should not have been survivable. With normal frames, they will go down. With the Kova Lich system taking on level 60 to 70 enemies, I really thought that Grendel would get his butt kicked. But he didn't. It was actually much more survivable than I was expecting from any other frame, to the point of I ended up running most of my Kova Lich stuff with Grendel. Normally I would use Frost because, well, I use Frost pretty much all the time for everything. Or a Slow Nova to slow everything down. Nope. Grendel. Yes, he also has an alternate helmet that does look pretty nice, but I just found myself using the standard one because, I don't know, personal preference. All in all, was not a bad frame at all. Does not need a great deal of format to make him powerful either. Maybe 3. I am thinking about putting a third in him in time. For now, he works pretty well just for running around kind of higher level stuff, but didn't expect him to have an insane amount of health that just made him a very survivable frame with the armor that comes with him. Actually kind of really falling in love with Grendel at the minute. Don't think I'll retire Frost just yet. Don't think I'll ever retire Frost, but Grendel definitely up there in the frames that I'm going to be using all the time. Way better than Gorz ever was. But we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.